You're watching CW50 News at 10.
Unlike the internet, we have to gather all the facts and not have just snippets.
Right now on CW50 News at 10, a couple now faces charges after a viral armed confrontation tugs at racial undertones. Plus, many will be celebrating this 4th of July close to home amid the coronavirus pandemic. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Brooke Katz. Let's get straight to Chief Meteorologist Karen Carter with a look at your 4th of July weather.
It has been a very hot day out there today, muggy as well. Take a look at tower cam today. We had a mix of sun and clouds today, but overall, all you can think about is how hot it was today. And take a look at those temperatures across the Midwest. You can see temps made it into the low 90s here in Southeast Michigan. And as you take a look at West, temperatures still in the upper 80s and low 90s, and we do not see much relief in sight. Tonight, temperatures are still going to stay very warm, dropping into the low 70s, 77 degrees at midnight, 72 at 2 a.m. and 70 at 4 a.m. Clear skies throughout the overnight hours, and we can see those overnight lows dropping into the upper 60s. Now, temperatures are going to stay very hot. We're going to talk about how long those temperatures are going to remain hot. Also, we'll have your holiday forecast, and the chances for rain are coming up. I'll talk all about it in your next look at weather. Back to you.
Karen, thank you. Charges have now been filed against a Clarkston couple after the wife pulled a gun on a woman during a confrontation in a Chipotle parking lot. CW50's April Morton has more.
The video, now making national headlines and being viewed over 1 million times, shows a white woman pulling a gun on a black mother and her teenage daughter in Orion Township earlier this week.
I have charged both the driver and the passenger with felonious assault, a 4-year felony.
The charges were made against 32-year-old Jillian Wichtenberg and 42-year-old Eric Wichtenberg. The Oakland County Sheriff Mike Bouchard says during a press conference on Thursday, the county prosecutor charged the Mary Clarkston couple after reviewing this video.
Call the cops right now.
Bouchard says an altercation started between the couple and a mother after one of them allegedly bumped into the woman's teenage daughter. The incident took place Wednesday afternoon in the Chipotle parking lot here in Orion Township. In the video, you see Wichtenberg pointing a gun at the mother as the teenage daughter pleads for her mom to walk away. The black mother accused the couple of being racist.
There's a lot of tension in our society, a lot of tension among folks and people with each other.
Bouchard says the couple was arrested at the scene. We've learned that Eric Wichtenberg has been terminated from his position at Oakland University. The couple is due back in court for a probable cause hearing on July 14th. In Orion Township, April Morton, CW50 News at 10.
April, thank you. And here is where Michigan stands today with coronavirus cases. The state currently has more than 65,000 cases of COVID-19 and over 5,900 deaths. This includes 30 new cases in Detroit, no new deaths. An update to that East Lansing bar linked to more than 100 coronavirus cases. At least 158 people have now tested positive for COVID-19 after being connected to Harper's Brew Pub. Roughly 50 of those people say they became sick after being in contact with someone who went there. The venue is a popular one among Michigan State students, and cases have been linked to at least 15 other counties. 3 employees at a Red Robin in Clinton Township have tested positive for coronavirus. Health officials are asking anyone who entered the location on Hall Road between June 18th through the 22nd to quarantine. The restaurant chain closed that location on June 22nd for cleaning. All employees must test negative before returning to work, and regular screenings also being implemented. A 4th of July event is taking place at Mount Rushmore in South Dakota, where President Trump will attend. On Saturday, the president will also host a Salute to America event from the White House, despite coronavirus concerns. From Washington, D.C., Natalie Brand has more.
After hitting the golf greens Friday morning, President Trump will soon head to Mount Rushmore for the National Memorial's first fireworks display in 10 years.
It's going to be a fireworks display like few people have seen.
More than 7,000 attendees are expected, and though the state's governor says face masks will be provided, attendees will not be required to wear them nor social distance.
Nobody really knows what will happen. after this event if people leave and contract the virus, expose all of the visitors.
Here in Washington, final preparations are underway for Saturday's Salute to America event, with workers loading up the fireworks in the shadow of the Washington Monument. Military flyovers honoring the cities of the American Revolution will begin over Boston and continue through New York, Philadelphia, and Baltimore before flying over Washington, D.C.
The White House says frontline workers, members of the military, and their families will join administration officials to watch the festivities from the South Lawn. A spokesman says face masks will be provided.
The Department of Interior also says more than 300,000 face masks like these will be available for spectators on the National Mall. But Washington, D.C.'s Mayor Muriel Bowser has canceled the city's parade and is encouraging residents to stay home this July 4th. On what's typically a busy campaign week, Native American groups plan to demonstrate at the president's event in South Dakota, while protests against police brutality are expected in Washington Saturday. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Fiat Chrysler issues a warning after workers at 2 of its plants in Michigan halt production over coronavirus concerns. A letter to employees states any instigated unapproved shutdowns will result in zero pay. This comes after automakers reopened plants nearly 6 weeks ago following coronavirus closures. Employees at Jeep and Ram factories also caused production halts. The United Auto Workers are putting pressure on General Motors after several employees tested positive for the virus. At least 22 employees at its plant in Arlington, Texas have tested positive for COVID-19, and at least 12 workers at its Wentzville plant in Missouri have also tested positive. The UAW says if this trend continues, they will request a plant shutdown. This 4th of July weekend, many people are deciding to stay at home. Families finding new ways to keep themselves entertained from their own backyards, and experts give their tips on how you can prepare your food safely at home. Plus, one Michigan town hopes to combat racial injustice through town hall meetings.
Art Van Furniture is closing their stores forever, and everything must go. It's the total inventory liquidation. Get 30 to 50% off name brand furniture now and take it home today. Financing is available and all sales are final. Only at these Art Van Furniture locations.
I have college loans, credit cards, lots of credit cards.
2 car loans, a payday loan, medical bills, back taxes.
You know, it all gets old.
But it's the same for everybody, right?
Isn't it amazing what we're willing to accept as normal? I'm attorney Rob Semmert of Debt Stoppers, and losing sleep because of your debt is not normal. Spending your days worried about paying your bills is not normal. Living with back-breaking debt is not normal. And if it's become normal for you, I can help you change that. A bankruptcy plan from my firm Debt Stoppers can end your debt problems for good. Save your house, save your car, eliminate your debt, and bring back the peace of mind you've been missing. Haven't you struggled long enough?
I'm fixing this for good.
For good.
I'm going to Debt Stoppers.
Zero upfront bankruptcy. File bankruptcy by phone without leaving home.
844-563-5700. 844-563-5700.
Yeah, I'm married. Doesn't matter. You do that for me? Really? Yeah, I'd like that.
Who are you talking to?
It's Jake from State Farm. Sounds like a really good deal.
Jake from State Farm at 3 in the morning? Who is this?
It's Jake from State Farm.
What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm?
Khakis? Hey, do they ever ask you what you're wearing?
Yeah.
Red sweater, button-down shirt. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Choosing the right lawyer is hard. There's a lot of promises and uncertainties out there. But knowing you made the right decision is different, because that's based on results. Making a promise and delivering on it, 2 different things. Call 855-75-EP-LAW, where winning is no accident.
Art Van Furniture is closing their stores forever, and everything must go. It's the total inventory liquidation. Get 30 to 50% off name brand furniture now and take it home today. Financing is available and all sales are final. Only at these Art Van Furniture locations.
Finding a personal loan is like finding someone you want to swipe right on. When it comes to finding the right match, you don't want any shady business. And the same goes for a personal loan. You deserve a loan that comes with full transparency, one that doesn't hide the details. A loan with no origination fees, no prepayment fees, and no late or missed payment fees. A loan that says, what you see is what you get. Find a good fit personal loan at vergecredit.com.
Watch The Big Bang Theory tonight at 11 on CW50.
Community members from St. Joseph and Benton Harbor held a town hall meeting to discuss racial injustice. Selena Guevara has more on what the community is doing to help make a change.
The biggest accomplishment of today was getting the people out that are willing to make the change happen.
The panelists tonight acknowledge that a conversation might not be as exciting or Instagrammable as the protests, but say it's just as important.
I know that in America it takes a terrible event to spark some change. This is the spark that's going to change race relations. I just hope that this doesn't stagnate.
Paul Knapp says he showed up because he wants to see change and is worried about his black 2-year-old son growing up.
How do I prepare him to both live with dignity, but also when he interacts with police, stay safe and to stay alive? I don't have an answer to that question yet. I don't want to raise him to live in fear. I don't think that's a solution, but right now, I don't know what is.
Community members asked about policing policies and talked about their personal experiences with injustice. One former Benton Harbor police officer told of how he used to be corrupt and how the system allowed him to get away with it for so long. St. Joseph's interim public safety officer mentioned that he's in favor of building a national police database. Everyone leaving the meeting tonight looking at solutions going forward.
This is something that has to be built across party lines. This is something that has to be a systemic cultural change.
I learned things that I could advocate for, things like a community review board that might be the most important first step that we could take and seems like the easiest first step.
Swanigan says she plans to hold the panelists accountable. She's asking them to come up with a tangible solution or action that they can do in their leadership roles.
We can meet, and continue to meet, but if we're not making things happen, if we're not, we're just talking and not taking action, then we're meeting and our meeting is in vain.
FedEx asking the Washington Redskins to change its name. The company's CEO is a minority owner of the team and has the naming rights to Washington's football stadium through 2025. Other advertisers like Nike and Pepsi have recently faced pressure to cut ties with the team. In the past, Redskins owner Dan Snyder has been strongly against a name change. Across the country, people are asking what they can do to help in the fight against racism and racial injustice. Danya Backus takes a look at an organization that is calling people to be a part of an anti-racist movement for change.
In the days after George Floyd's death,
Black Lives Matter!
Multiracial crowds poured into streets around the nation in protest of social injustice. Erin Haney understands the outrage.
There's no such thing as not racist. We need you to be anti-racist.
She's the director of Showing Up for Racial Justice, also known as SURGE, a multiracial activist organization committed to anti-racism. They focus on calling in white people to support racial justice and work in alliance with Black and people of color-led organizations.
I think it's really important that all of the work for racial justice is grounded in the vision of Black leaders in this country. And we know that white silence is one of the greatest barriers to winning that transformative vision that folks have set.
With 125 chapters across the country and world, SURGE is predominantly led by white people who are having hard conversations with other white people about race and injustice.
Racism isn't a Black issue, it's a white issue. We need to be organizing amongst ourselves to do the internal work.
Adam Smith is an organizer for the Los Angeles SURGE chapter, White People for Black Lives. In addition